Happy Monday. How you doing? Did you have a nice weekend? We had a great weekend. Spent part of the weekend out on the St. John River in a wonderful boat with great people, with family. Had a good time. Saw a huge alligator. Oh my goodness, was it big. There's big alligators out there. No, thank you. I don't go in that water. Not too many people do. I want to talk to you today about generational curses. Are they real? Do you have one? Do you have several of them? I did. I want to talk to you about it. But first, I want to bless our country today. I want to say to the United States, the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you, give you peace. Today's blessing day. Today's the day everybody calls for the blessing. Make sure you call today to get your weekly blessing. And if you do your offerings, your donations, your tithe, and your gifts today, make real sure that you call so I can speak the blessing over you. God gave us a word-for-word blessing. And he said, if you speak this over the people, I will bless them. So my obligation is to speak that blessing. And God's obligation is to bless you. And he will, because he said he would. Say this with me on this happy Monday. The rest of my life is the best of my life. The best of my life is the rest of my life. Everything I touch turns to gold. I am smart, getting smarter every day. I am extremely talented. Great things are coming my way. Everything always works out for me. I am a wonderful person. Pastor Jim is a wonderful pastor. Pastor Jim is the ultimate pastor because I'm available and because I get results. Incredible results. I am beautiful. You know what? I looked in the mirror this morning and I said, you know what? I think I'm getting better looking. I'm getting better looking every day. Say that. Say, I'm getting better. I am beautiful and I'm getting better looking every day. Watch what happens. I wrote the book on curses. Wrote the book. Not a big book. Tells you everything you need to know about curses. The simple secret, how to unlock God's blessings. Isn't that what it's all about? How to unlock God's blessings. And I'll tell you what, one way to unlock God's blessings is by getting rid of these generational curses. Curses block blessings. Curses block healing. Curses block success in people's lives. They block all this stuff. Once a curse gets into your life, it will block all the good stuff. Jesus himself said in Mark 11:23, he said, truly I say unto you, he says, Mark 11:23, he says, for verily I say unto you, whosoever shall say unto this mountain, the mountain in this verse that Jesus is talking about, I believe, are curses. Obstacle. He's talking about spiritual things here. You know, when I first read this, when I got saved, I wondered, can we really tell a mountain to move? Folks, that's how much I knew. I thought we're talking about like the Rocky Mountains. Or maybe we should start with the Appalachian Mountains because they're not as big. Or maybe the Smoky Mountains. We got lots of mountains. And then we'll move to the Alps. We'll get rid of those mountains. I didn't know any better. But I didn't realize that the mountain that Jesus is talking about in this book is problems, obstacles, hindrances, and most of all, curses. A curse in your life is a mountain of obstacles and problems and hindrances. Because a curse will block the blessing, especially the curse of the law. I mean, Paul told us about this in Galatians chapter 3. He said, Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law so that the blessing of Abraham might come on the Gentiles. We could not be blessed as long as the curse was in place. So Christ redeemed us from the curse. However, curses have gotten back into people's lives. And Jesus knew they would. He knew they would. That's why he gave us authority, what we call power of attorney, to use his name, to keep these things out of our lives. Now, what a curse does, and I've talked about this before, but a curse is continual permission for demons to operate in your life. Once a person has a curse in their life, the demons can come into your life and cause that to happen. Say your finances are cursed. There's a curse of poverty in your life. Well, then the demons will come into your life. They don't possess you, but they oppress you, and they cause poverty to remain in your life. It's all spiritual. Everything is spiritual. Dave Ramsey wrote a wonderful book called The Total Money Makeover. Great book. It's got his smiling face right there in the book. The only thing he doesn't understand, is the spiritual aspect of all this. And you can read this book of his, you can memorize it word for word, do everything in that book, and stay broke. Now, you'll make some progress. You'll have a few ups, a few downs, but you're going to stay broke. Because the curse of the law, that book doesn't remove the curse of the law. It doesn't deal with the spiritual aspect of poverty. I had a generational curse of poverty in my life. I was broke all my life, poor all my life. I grew up that way. Call me today. Let me break this in your life. If you've got any of this going on, I'm telling you, if your finances are stagnant, I guarantee you there's a curse there. There's a curse there. We can get rid of it for you. Now, you have to receive. This is deliverance. Deliverance from generational curses of poverty will cause your finances to increase, but you have to accept it. You have to receive deliverance. Huh? It's like if somebody tries to curse you and you don't receive it, you're not going to have it. So I don't. People say, "Well, you're not going. That's not going to work for you." I said, "Well, I don't receive that. It will work for me." See, I don't receive what people say to me when they talk to me like that. When they say I'm smart, I'll receive that. But when they say that, "Well, you can't do that. That's not going to work," I say, "Oh, I don't receive that. I don't receive that." So this curse of poverty was working in my life. Every time I got ahead, I got behind. It's like I was walking around with holes in my pockets that the money just went right through. Every time I'd get any money, it'd be gone. Gone. Where to go? I have no idea. I was constantly in debt. Huge debt. We were $300,000 in debt at one time. We owed twice as much on a house as it was worth. I mean, every decision we ever made, or every decision I ever made about money was wrong. Huh? Because the curse was working in my life, and I didn't know it. Just because you don't know about curses doesn't mean they're not there. Some very prominent and wonderful people don't believe Christians can be cursed. They're wrong. They are wrong, wrong, wrong. All sickness, all poverty, all problems, all failure, lack, all that stuff is caused by curses and spiritual demons. Demons, evil spirits. Jesus delivered people of evil spirits. He healed all who were oppressed of the devil. Well, I got news for you. In Deuteronomy 28:29, It says, and thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropes in darkness, and thou shalt be only oppressed, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. That is oppression, folks. Poverty is incredible oppression, and it's not possession, it's oppression. Oppression is when you're being held down. Being held down is oppression. When you're possessed, there's no defense and there's no way out. Some countries are oppressed because their governments are holding them down. And some countries are possessed. The people are possessed in those countries. They have no defense and they have no way out. Well, spiritual things, your finances are the same way. Some of these poor people in these poor countries, they're possessed. They have no way out of poverty. That's possession. In other countries, you can be oppressed by these curses and stay broke, but there's a way out. There's a way out. Now, even possession, when their finances are possessed, there's still a way out. And that way out is the power in the name of Jesus. Glory to God. Tell everybody you know about these videos. These are the most powerful videos out there anywhere today. These videos will change your life. And then you call me. I'm available. I will pray with all I require for anybody to be a partner with me is that they watch the videos, preferably every day, because then it strengthens your spirit and increases your faith. How do you know if these generational curses are going on? Well, if you're sick and sickness runs in your family, say heart disease. Heart disease is a terrible generational curse. It's passed down. The doctors call it hereditary. That's why when you go to the doctor the first time, they have you fill out a form, and what they really want to know, they ask you a whole bunch of questions, but you're only looking for the answers to a few of them. And inside all that list of questions, what they really want to know is, did your father or your mother or your siblings ever have heart disease or cancer or mental illness or anything like that? Because then they know you're prone to it. I could ask you the same thing about poverty. Was your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, were they poor? All poor people, almost all poor people, come from poor families. The reason they do is because of generational curses. Wealthy people come from blessed families. Wealthy people come from wealthy families. That is just a fact. But in this country, you can rise up. Poor people in this country can become wealthy if they get a good idea, if they work hard, if they get educated. We've got somebody in our church came here from another country and got himself through college. He's living in a $1 million home. Huh? Because he wouldn't accept the fact that he was broke. He says I can do anything I want. And he will tell you right to your face. He said there's no reason for anybody to be poor. All you have to do is do what he did. Huh? But the big thing is he got these curses broken too. Huh? Glory to God. That makes a huge difference. 10 years ago in June, we broke the curse of poverty in my life. Got rid of the generational curses, curse of the law. Broke it. In 5 months, $295,000 worth of debt went away. Huh? Our finances have been great ever since. Now, it didn't happen overnight, but it happens. You call me. I'll help you with this. I'll help you with this. I'll break these curses in your life for you. I'll speak the blessing over you. You accept it, and then enjoy your life and watch what happens.